This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mins.
They called him Domino, and no one could tell. I mean, no one. Not a single soul. And when I say souls, I'm referring to the other felines who treated him as if he were another of their species, sprawled together in the warmth of the cat café, where attendees and cat lovers could pay a nominal fee to sit on the couches and pat cats all day. They would brush past him, sniff him, and head bump. He would return the favor. His nanochip was based on an algorithm of instinct. That means the more time he spent with the other cats, the more he learnt their ways and was able to adapt his mannerisms accordingly. It was a technology that went beyond our heads, and we weren't supposed to even be talking about it. Caroline, my partner, and myself signed non-disclosure agreements that were strictly enforced, so they said. I didn't have money for a lawyer to read over it. Caroline suggested we just trust our instinct. The study should take about 8 to 12 months, the representative said. By that time, we should have enough data to remove Domino from you, and we will compensate you based on the agreement in Clause 15. The clause was a handsome sum, not life-changing, but perhaps we could go away for a nice little weekender. Who knows? We didn't mind. They were government or private contractors or something. It was all top secret and hush-hush, which was fine. Our main concern was, what if our customers smell something is off? I mean, it's a robotic cat, for Christ's sake. How convincing could it be? So that should be about what, October 17? Caroline asked. You'll have your study done and can take him away? Something like that. After his little spiel, we met the robot. It would jump at laser beams and attack wind-up mice, head nozzle in your lap, and leap into the air conditioning vents if it were scared. It did everything that was expected of a cat, except use the bathroom, eat, or sleep. What exactly are they studying? Caroline asked me once in between a litany of customers fawning over the mechanical creature. We were 3 months in. I mean, it's a cat. What could that possibly tell them that they don't already know about the animals? She wondered. Hey, we're not supposed to talk about it, remember? I reminded as I poured whipped milk into the cappuccino order for Couch 5. The only way that someone could be made aware of its non-organic state was if the code was uttered and performed. This was given to us as a fail-safe in case there was some sort of malfunction. We were assured that this would never be the case, but you can never be too sure, you know? It consisted of a cough, 3 clicks of the right hand, and a whistle. What this was supposed to do was pause the animal in midstream, shutting off its systems and rendering it into a statue state, immobile and unresponsive. On the day it was introduced, outside business hours, the man in the suit demonstrated the technique and allowed us to perform it again and again. Each time Domino became frozen in time. He would stand still, and his body was completely rigid. His hairs would stand on end, and he would be harder than a frozen slab of meat. His body would instantly grow cold. As I said, this is a last resort mechanism in case of an emergency, but we don't see that occurring in the time frame he will be spending here with you, the man said. Things progressed at a normal pace around the grounds. The customers came in and ordered their drinks and patted the cats, and the animals themselves laid out the welcome mat that included countless meows, head bumps, and whisker brushes against fingers. Tails were hooked at an angle to signify friendship and welcomeness. We were very happy with our animals. How much for this one? I remember one customer who was particularly smitten with Domino requested. Oh, I'm sorry, that one isn't for sale, I had to inform. A lot of our cats were available for adoption, which is where she got the impression. I'll pay anything. He's just perfect. He's gorgeous. I really need it for my daughter, she begged. He's the only one you don't have listed on social media. I don't know why. He's absolutely perfect. I beamed with misplaced pride. Thank you very much. I don't know why we don't showcase Domino online. I lied. I'd love to put him up for adoption, but he's a special breed that we are holding on loan for someone, and we cannot facilitate an adoption at this time. I continued to lie. Can I please have the contact of the owner? I'm sure they will want to hear my offer. How attached are they to this little precious thing if they leave him here day in and day out? She pleaded. Before I could say anything further, she cut me off again. Look, Deborah, I've been coming here with my daughter on again and off again for the past 11 weeks. It has really aided her in her recovery. Not to mention, it has really reset our relationship to the point where it is better now than it has been in years. I'm telling you, it's all thanks to Domino. That cat has saved my family. It truly has. So what I'm saying to you now is, I will not be going home. I am not leaving here without that cat. Now. I don't care what it takes or who I have to speak to, but I am going home with that cat. So can you do me a favor and get the owner on the phone now so that I can speak to them? She was breathing heavily and she did not budge. She was not interested in my excuses, despite the impossibility of what she was asking. She made it clear in her demeanor that she would not be taking no for an answer. "Ma'am," Caroline said. She had overheard us as she was serving a customer on another couch. "Don't ma'am me," the woman yelled, gaining traction in her aggression. "What do we do?" Caroline asked me as we retreated to the kitchen on the pretense that we were obtaining the owner's number. "I don't know. Can we call the department?" "No, they didn't leave a contact. All interactions were made by them." "Well, when is the thing due to leave here?" "Not for another 3 to 4 months at least." I breathed in deeply. "What if I just show her the failsafe that will put her off?" I suggested. Caroline's jaw dropped. "You want to turn the cat into a statue in front of the customer and close our business down in the process?" She was panicking. I was panicking. That's when we heard the screams from the lounge area. We ran out of the kitchen to see Domino, its razor claws attached to the woman's head as its body covered her face, suffocating her. "Get it off me!" she yelled through muffled animatronic cat fur. "Help me!" The customers in the vicinity, mothers with their school-aged children, all ran over to assist. None could get the cat to dismount. Its fake, animatronic claws had dug deep into the woman's scalp. She began to scream louder and louder. There was screaming and crying. The other cats lobbed themselves away from the commotion, disappearing into the crevices that lined the open spaces of the lounges, away from the eyes of all non-felines. "Domino off," I yelled. The cat holstered its claws and jumped down from the woman at once. It was purring as it pranced away, as if it had just walked a line of Prada down the red carpet of Paris. The little shit. The woman collapsed on the floor and needed an ambulance. We later heard she required 18 stitches in plastic surgery. We closed the shop early that afternoon, and I stood next to Caroline, who was sweeping the fur and coffee beans as I conducted the fail-safe. A cough, 3 clicks, and a whistle. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Removing that thing," I said. We found Domino behind the door of his cage. He was watching 3 other cats, Felix, Marshall, and Spencer, eating their afternoon meals. It stood as still as a statue. "I'm putting this in the storeroom," I said to Caroline as I leaned down to pick the robot up by the collar. "We had an agreement, remember?" the cat said through its feline mouth. I jumped up in fright. I looked to Caroline. Her jaw was on the floor again. "I am to be on display for 12 months while I collect data, and you are not to interfere. In exchange, you will be rewarded financially. Removing me from the operation puts you in breach of contract," the cat said. "But you attacked our customer," I said back to the thing. "Negative. I stopped an unwanted advance on my data collection," the cat said. "Please release me from the failsafe right now, or I will be forced to do so myself." I looked to Caroline, who clapped 3 times. The cat zapped out of its frozen state and walked away from us, back out into the lounge area. We walked out to look at it just as it had perched up on the first front leather couch and turned itself into a ball. We knew that it couldn't sleep, but it made quite the impression that it was. We continued our cleanup and locked the place up after the cats were secured. We walked home in silence. When we got home, we both made a run to the calendar to see exactly how many days were left while that thing would be in operation in our café. I drew a big red X on the 17th of October. Caroline took the pen and made a circle around the date, over and over and over again.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.